Hello, this is Nettles. Welcome to my channel. Let's get into it. Alys is not there. Alys is not there. I'm going to prove it to you. So, today we're going to be looking at her scenes, analyzing, seeing if she's really there, and I'm also going to be reading some quotes from the book. Now, to start off, Alys reminds me of Quaithe. Quaithe is a character in the books that appears to Dany. Now, us in the fandom, we are feverishly trying to figure out who Quaithe is. Is she Dany from the future? Is she Shiera Seastar? We don't know yet. That's not what this video is about. But Quaithe might be using glass candles, or she might be straight up astral projecting. We don't really know what Quaithe uses to do what she does. Listen to this quote by Marwyn the Mage. This is from Feast for Crows, and he's talking to Sam Tarly. He says, "The sorcerers of the Freehold could see across mountains, seas, and deserts with one of these glass candles. They could enter a man's dreams and give him visions and speak to one another half a world apart, seated before their candles. Do you think that might be useful, Slayer?" Marwyn's talking about that Wi-Fi, baby. But this is the magic that's available in George's world. You could enter a man's dreams and give him visions and speak to that man, whether you're across mountains, seas, or deserts. Okay, so I have more. Here is a longer quote from one of Dany's point of view chapters, okay? That night, she dreamt she was Rhaegar, riding to the Trident, but she was mounted on a dragon, not a horse. When she saw the usurper's rebel host across the river, they were armored all in ice, but she bathed them in dragon fire, and they melted away like dew and turned the Trident into a torrent. Some small part of her knew that she was dreaming, but another part exulted. This is how it was meant to be. The other was a nightmare, and I have only now awakened. I'm going to stop right there. This is exactly what I'm talking about when I compare Quaithe with Alys. Now, with Alys, it seems like she's trying to help Daemon, but she's speaking in riddles and making it worse, if I might add. And the same thing with Quaithe. Quaithe appears to be trying to help Daenerys, but she always speaks in riddles. Bitch, just tell me. Just tell me. Tell me go left, go right. I hate. Riddles are fun when we're in elementary school, but when it's life and death, bitch, tell me. Anyways, so they work in the same way where they're trying to help you, but they're making it hard. The other thing is I wanted to point out that Dany said some small part of her knew that she was dreaming, but another part exulted. So it's kind of the same thing with Daemon, where it's apparent that he knows he's dreaming. Why? Because he knows he didn't really cut off Rhaenyra's head. But he's sort of like happy to be in the dream. He stays in the dream. Like everything we've seen so far, and if you're watching this in the future, we've only seen up to episode 5. So we've had 3 episodes of Daemon doing this. Why doesn't Daemon yell at her? Why doesn't Daemon stop sleeping in that bed? Why doesn't Daemon leave Harrenhal? He doesn't do any of those things. He just goes to sleep every night looking forward to his his television programs that are in his head, basically. Daemon likes this shit. He likes this freaky foreplay shit. He likes it. You can't tell me this man doesn't like it. He doesn't leave. He doesn't even tell Alys to stop. Freaky ass bitch. One might even say he's exalted about it. So those are the parallels I see in that, and that's why I think it's the same type of magic. The other thing I want to compare is the fact that In Daemon's dream, there's always a little bit of truth to it as far as his truth, his something in his subconscious, and then Alys adds to that. And the same thing here. Part of this dream is Daenerys' subconscious. She has two brothers that she could look to. For example, Rhaegar or Viserys. Well, we know she's not going to look to Viserys, but Rhaegar is someone that she looks up to. She wants to be like him because she wants to be great. So it makes sense that she dreams that she's Rhaegar, but then everything else is Quaithe. This part about the rebel host armored in ice. What does ice have to do with Targaryens? Maybe this is a vision of the future. So we have a little bit of Daenerys' subconscious, and then the rest is embellishments by Quaithe to teach Daenerys a lesson, or for something. I don't know. Same thing with Alys. There's a little bit of Daemon's subconscious in there, the things that he thinks about, the things that he worries about, the things that he's repressed, things that are deep in that iceberg of his subconscious. But then the rest is Alys showing him the heart tree, putting screams in his head of what the Riverlands small folk are going through. Let me continue with the quote. She woke suddenly in the darkness of her cabin, still flushed with triumph. Balerion seemed to wake with her, and she heard the faint creak of wood, water lapping against the hull, a footfall on the deck above her head, and something else. Someone was in the cabin with her. I'm going to stop here because I want to make it apparent that Daenerys is not stupid. I know she's a girl, but she's not stupid, okay? She knows that someone is in the room with her. This isn't like a figment of her imagination. Number one, she says that she hears the faint creak of wood and she hears a footfall on the deck above her head. If we wanted to make this vague, we would say she heard footsteps, but it says a footfall on the deck above her head. And I know all of us can place footsteps when it's quiet in the middle of the night. We know when there's someone in the room with us. I think that's what George is making apparent here in the way that he has written this. It's not, oh, I think I heard, oh, maybe. It's, I heard it. She heard it. She heard it because it woke her up. In the quote, she woke suddenly in the darkness of her cabin. So someone's definitely there. Let me continue. Iri? Shikwi? Where are you? Her handmaids did not respond. It was too black to say, but she could hear them breathing. Jorah, is that you? They sleep, a woman said. They all sleep. The voice was very close. Even dragons must sleep. I want to stop there just to point out the fact that Daenerys calls for Iri and Jhiqui, and they don't respond. She calls for Jorah, and he doesn't respond. Now you know if Daenerys said Iri or Jhiqui, that they would immediately wake up because that's their job. And I know you guys know that if she called Jorah, Jorah would have come busting into that room from. Jorah could have been on another ship, and he would have been swimming. Would have jumped in the. He would have been jumped off the ship, started swimming to get to Dany. Okay, so Daenerys might still be sleeping. Quaithe is putting a vision in her head to make her think that it's the middle of the night and she's calling out, but she's not calling out. She's calling out in her dream. I think. I'm not too sure about that. But the fact that she's calling for people who are supposed to be at her beck and call and they're not coming is a little bit suspicious to me. Let's continue. She's standing over me. Who's there? Dany peered into the darkness. She thought she could see a shadow, the faintest outline of a shape. What do you want of me? Remember, to go north, you must journey south. To reach the west, you must go east. To go forward, You must go back. And to touch the light, you must pass beneath the shadow. More fucking riddles. What, Quave? I'm going to. What the fuck? I mean, give me the map quest. Print me out the map quest and stop it. So like I said, Quave is there. And she says the voice was very close. We can all tell when someone is speaking in our face and when they're speaking across the room. There is a very big difference. There's even a transfer of energy. It's not just I'm hearing the voice as louder because it's closer to me. It's you feel the energy of a person when they're speaking close to you. Let me continue. Quave. Danny sprung from the bed and threw open the door. Pale yellow lantern light flooded the cabin, and Eerie and Cheeky sat up sleepily. Khaleesi, murmured Cheeky, rubbing her eyes. Viserion woke and opened his jaws, and a puff of flame brightened even the darkest corners. There was no sign of a woman in a red lacquer mask. Khaleesi, are you unwell? Asked Cheeky. A dream. Danny shook her head. I dreamed a dream. No more. Go back to sleep, all of us. Go back to sleep. Yet try as she might, sleep would not come again. All right, that's the end of that quote. Now, doesn't that remind you of freaking Daemon? Now, when Dany says Quaithe jumps off the bed, throws open the door, that's her real awakening. We know that because now Jiqui and Eerie are awake. Even Viserion is awake. My point is that it is possible for someone to be far away and make you feel like they are in the room with you, but they're not there. Daenerys was sure that she was sure that Quaithe was in the room with her, but she wasn't. No matter how convincing it looks that Alys is in the room with Daemon, that might not be the case. Okay, let's look at the videos. So first up, we have Daemon's first interaction with Alys, which is him arriving at Harrenhal. Let's watch the scene. All right, let me just pause already. Notice everyone runs away. Why are you walking towards us, Alys? The reason is because they're showing she's not like the other girls. She's so different. She's different.
Apparently so. I, Sir Simon Strong, Castellan of Harrenhal, pledge fealty to Rhaenyra of House Targaryen, first of her name. I swear this by the old gods and the new.
Okay. Listen, I'm an honest person. I'm a fair person. This actor might disprove my theory because Alys walks in and they're looking at her. And my whole thing is no one is supposed to look at Alys. Watch right here. Watch the actor that is closest to Alys. Their eyes do dart towards Alys and back, but I think it's a mistake. I think it's a mistake because the other servant does not look at Alys. The other servant does not look at Alys. Watch.
To Rhaenyra of House Targaryen, first of her name. I swear this by the old gods.
He looks at her. And then he quickly looks down as if he forgot that the director said not to look at her.
Gods and the new. Supper is venison with black cabbage and peas.
Now, it doesn't matter that that one servant quickly glanced her way. What matters and what we, the audience, are supposed to focus on is Simon. Simon is the one who's taking care of this house, who's ruling this house right now. And Simon does not look at Alys. Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? A fearsome warlord just entered your halls. You don't know if he came with people. You don't know how many men he came with. So if it's quiet and you hear footsteps behind you, Alys's loud footsteps, Alys, what kind of mule clog heels you got on, girl? You stomping around like fee fi fo fum, loud footsteps, Alys. But you would glance back. If you were Simon and you heard footsteps behind you that loud, you would glance back. Why? Because it's medieval times and people are dying like flies. Anybody, if you are in a position of power, you have to be scared for your life every day. Okay? So at least he would glance back or something, or at least stop talking. Some of us, when we're talking and someone walks into the room, we might stop for half a second just to like acknowledge that someone walked into the room. And the person walking in might make you even lose your train of thought, right? Simon does not lose his train of thought. Simon keeps talking as if there's no one there because there's no one there. Only Daemon could see her. And Daemon doesn't address her. Usually, we know Daemon's attitude. We know Daemon from the books. We know Daemon from the show. If someone's showing disrespect to Daemon, Daemon will not stand for that. Daemon loves to put you in your place. Daemon would say, hey, wench, bow to your king. He didn't say any of that. They didn't give him dialogue with her because then people will be forced to say, there's no one there.
No red currant. Sorry about that.
Okay, that might not convince you. You might say, but Nettles, you don't know anything. She is there. Where? I present to you my next point. This is the scene where Daemon cuts off Rhaenyra's head and she keeps talking. Then he wakes up, he sees blood on his hands, and then they disappear. She's showing her power. She's showing her power of illusion, her power to manipulate, but also the point of this is she's trying to make Daemon feel guilty. And if he didn't get it with Rhaenyra's monologue, then she's really hammering it in by showing him the blood on his hands. Like, if you don't get it, I'm going to show you blood on your hands. Your fault, your fault.
There's been a raven. Mario, great. Slept well, I trust. As I said, there's been a raven.
I think he was awake. He looks down with his waked up eyes, his woke eyes, and sees the blood. And the blood disappears right before his eyes. Alys has the power to put whole visions in his head that aren't there. Like, for example, him at the weirwood tree. I don't think that man was ever at no weirwood. She's able to put him in a whole different scenario, but she's also able to manipulate him during his waking hours. When he is awake, when there's other people in the room, she can still manipulate him. And the first dab of that was the blood on his hands while he's awake. And he's so confused. Look at his face. He's so confused. No, Nettles, that's not enough. All right, let's actually talk to Alys. Let's see what this bitch got to say. I hate her. She's disrespectful. She ain't got no dragon, but she talk like she do.
Once you get to know me, you'll find I'm not so bad.
So what are you then? Some kind of maester?
In a manner of speaking. And headed to the duties after the last one fled in the night.
Fled? Why?
Just never settled in. How are you settling in? I've come to know the face of tortured rest well enough.
You heard it from the bitch's mouth herself. She says she scared away the last maester. He went running in the night. Running in the night. That means he couldn't wait until the morning. He didn't want to pack his bags. He didn't want to turn on the lights so they can make sure he got both pairs of socks and he got his iPad was charged. He went running in the night. Okay. So once again, we're seeing the power where even a learned man like a maester, someone who should have forged their Valyrian link, even a maester who's supposed to be the strongest mind, an example of a mind that can't be broken, can be broken by Alys quite easily, and she laughs about it. She laughs about it. Now, I know you guys are going to say, well, she had a reason. Maybe the maester was evil. She had a reason. Maybe Alys is evil. How about that? But that's just showing you her power. Now, I also want to remind you guys that in this time, dragons are around. So when dragons are around, magic is more powerful. In Daenerys' time, she has brought dragons, and they're saying, hey, now the glass candles are working again. And that's just the glass candles working, but the dragons have been in this world, the dragons have been alive the whole time. So imagine the type of power that they have. This is why Alys is able to put this entire room into Daemon's head. The scene before this, Daemon is looking at himself dressed up as Aemon. That tells me that Daemon is in his bed right now. Daemon is not in this room talking to Alys. Alys is about to make him a tea. She's not making the tea. He's not drinking it. He's in his bed because we just saw Daemon dressed up as Aemon, and it's not possible for two people to be in the same place at the same time. It's a dream. So Alys, once again, is not there.
You experienced anything of note?
You are a strange kind of woman.
Yep. You guys get the point. I'm not going to stay on this little flirty rotation because why should I? Okay, all she does is yap more. No one walks into the room to confirm that this is a real, tangible event happening. So let's move on. Now, the next scene I have is everyone's favorite scene where Daemon bones his mom.
Is the duck not to your liking, Grace? There was also goose, if you prefer.
This is off topic, but this idea of the duck and the goose is a callback to Rhaenyra and Laenor talking about homosexuality. And I wonder if this is a nod to that weird scene with Daemon and Willem Blackwood where he's seducing him. A scene with Daemon that could be interpreted as homoerotic?
More persuading.
They are unyielding in battle. But every man has a weakness.
You take my meaning then. There are things the crown itself must not be seen to do.
I don't know. It's off topic. Let's get back to it.
I like the goose myself.
So we see Alys here, and we didn't see her walk in. We think like, oh, she's a serving girl. She's bringing the plate. She's bringing the food. She's not. Well, in this scene, she doesn't put anything down on the table. She doesn't interact with anyone. And most importantly, in this scene, no one looks at her. Everyone's focused on Daemon, which makes sense. You're thinking, oh, he's the king. Of course, they're going to look at him. But bitch, no matter how scared you are of a person, when someone walks into the room, you look. You acknowledge. If she was putting a plate in front of you or taking away your cup, you might just nod in her direction. You know, you don't want to say thank you, but you might just nod to show the encouragement. Or you might say, yeah, go ahead and take it. Go ahead and take my plate. Go ahead and take my food. Or if she puts something new down in front of you, you might grab it. But no one, if she's serving them, nope. If she's serving, who is she serving? Who is she serving? Let's continue watching.
I'm not hungry. I was saying, given the rather dire news from Rook's Rest.
In the subtitles, it says Alys is pouring the wine, but once again, she doesn't give it to anybody.
It appears the winds have shifted and each side has suffered great loss and will be unsure of what is to follow.
A good time then for a show of strength.
Once again, you're seeing her tinkering off screen. Can't see what her hands are doing. She's just clinking and making noise. She's not doing shit. She's the worst fucking serving girl, the worst fucking housekeeper. She sucks.
William Blackwood is bringing House Bracken to heel.
Now she's mad because Daemon is showing a show of strength, which she doesn't want. She wants him to be peaceful during this war. I don't know what the fuck she wants. Get away from my man, girl. Get away. But she's mad at him, so she's gonna walk away. And I want you to listen to her footsteps as she walks away, because the camera's not gonna show her anymore after this scene. But you can listen to her footsteps, and it sounds like she takes about 5 footsteps, and 5 footsteps is not enough to exit that room. 5 footsteps put you about like what, a foot away from the table. But she's no longer in the room and the footsteps disappear. If she's walking out of that room because she's mad, you're going to hear 30 footsteps and then nothing. You're not going to just hear 5. So try to see if you can listen.
We must ready the castle to receive a great host.
You seem sure of this.
All men may be led, Sir Simon, even rivermen. It is a matter of showing them whom it behooves them to follow. How does the work here progress?
But you're going to say, no, Nettles, it's because she's working class. So like these rich people like don't want to look at her because she's poor. Okay, do these boys look rich to you? Do these boys look like they're going to be looking down on anybody? No. These boys look like they never even seen a woman. So of course, if Alex walks into the room, they're going to be like, you're going to see the table rise 700 inches. All right, this is the last scene I'm going to show. So we see lumberjack, brokeback mountain Daemon cutting some wood, because that's supposed to make us like him. She's going to put screams in his head, and he's going to look. No one else is looking at her. Watch. And you see how he hears the screams? He knows that I'm not supposed to be hearing screams. It must be Alys. Let me look around and see where she is. Oh, there she is. So Daemon's already used to this. My question to Daemon is, why aren't you... Anyways, let me just fast forward. Why aren't you killing this bitch? If you mess with my mind once, shame on you. You mess with my mind twice, shame on me. A third time, bitch, I'm feeding it to my dragon. Okay, so I'm just gonna forward because I hate Alys. Let's keep going. Oh, let me look at your hands. Wah, wah, wah. I'm Alys. I have dark hair. I'm mysterious.
Consult their chance to do as are required. They will perhaps think better of their decision if their children's lives.
She's talking way too close to him. Your faces don't have to be that close together.
Kind of army you would raise.
An example for the rest of the Riverlands to follow.
Their faces don't have to be that close together.
You should pray you never meet him. He will cut you down as soon as wish you good day.
I heard the same thing.
So he's talking about Aemon, and he says to Alys, you should pray you never meet him because he'll cut you down. Now in the books, we know that doesn't happen because Aemon actually fucks Alys. She gets pregnant. But I just thought that was very funny. This is the part that made this theory come together for me. It's when Simon walks in and he looks in Alys's direction. He doesn't look at Alys. He looks at her direction. She's already kind of past him. If you look at his line of sight, she has already passed him. So he's looking at where she was. Look closely. And then he looks back at Daemon, and the look that he gives Daemon is, what are you looking at? Why are you always looking at them? What? Who are you talking to? Who? What are you doing? The other thing is, Simon, if If Simon saw Alys, he would probably ask her to leave because he has an important message for the king. And as you know, in past Game of Thrones episodes, when people have something to say, they're usually like, hey, clear the room. They're like, lowborn people, get the fuck out. This is for kings or lord or whoever's in charge ears only, something like that. But Simon doesn't. Simon just starts talking because there's no one there. It's just Daemon. Watch.
A message, Your Grace.
Now, the question is why? I have 3 points to make about Alys. The first point is why I think she might be doing this. Why would she bother astral projecting herself? Why doesn't she just show up? Just show up and talk to Daemon. Everyone else is. I think part of the reason is the actress playing Alys said that she could be 400 years old. So that means this is a glamour that we're seeing, okay? Alys might be a bald albino like the ghost of Highheart. We don't know what she looks like, and we will never know what she looks like. She looks like what she wants you to see. So I think that it's much easier to astral project an image of yourself as you're building the whole fake room. You can build your fake self too. The color of your hair, 25-inch waist, whatever you want yourself to look like. I think it's easier to put that in a vision and send it to Daemon than to show up in person in a glamour, because in the books it said that a wise person, a keen person, can see past a glamour. So maybe she didn't want to chance the fact that Daemon would be wise enough to see past her glamour. So she's like, I'm not going to risk it. I'm just going to astral project myself to him. Another reason to juxtapose my first reason, instead of her being scared to risk being found out, I think it's a power play. She can more easily manipulate him when she can control the environment. So if she can if she can put him in her kitchen while she's licking her fingers, making some nasty crap, she has control over the whole situation. She can put screams into his head. She can show him Lena and Rhaenyra, and so she could have more power over him or control him or change his mind or whatever her motive is better from far away. The other thing is if she's using a glass candle or a tree, then obviously she can't physically be there with Daemon. She has to be in front of that glass candle, like I read in that Marwyn quote. Or if she's using the trees, she has to be underneath ground touching that tree. She can't be up in castles, up in rooms, up in bathrooms. The last point, or the last reason I think she could be doing this, requires a tinfoil hat. So go ahead and pause this video, go get your hat, so that you can So in that last scene I showed you where Daemon mentions Aemond, it reminded me that if Alys knows how Daemon is going to die, powerful magic, dragons are around, powerful magic, okay? Then she knows that she's going to be pregnant with Aemon's baby. Now, I don't think when she gets pregnant with Aemon's baby, I don't think it's a real baby. Why? She's 400 years old. It's nothing but dust and cobwebs in her womb. She's not going to give birth to no regular baby. She's going to give birth to a shadow baby like Melisandre, who is also 400 years old. So I just want to put that disclaimer. I don't think it's a real pregnancy, but she knows her future is to physically be with Aemond. But if we're going to go into Doctor Strange territory, maybe there's an alternate future where she does meet Daemon in person, and the animal magnetism and fireworks are so crazy that they do end up fucking, and maybe he does give her a shadow baby, and that shadow baby does something she doesn't want. So she's like, all right, I can't meet you in person, but I do need to influence you. So that could be a reason where she's Basically, what I'm trying to say is she's saving herself for Eamon, that one-eyed bitch. So those are my 3 points as to why I think she might be doing this, but you tell me what you think. A lot of people are saying that Alys Rivers is Melisandre. I don't like that. I hate Melisandre. I don't want to give her any importance. I want Melisandre right now to be toiling in some mine or something. She deserves a hard life because she's stupid and I hate her. Some people say that Alys might be the ghost of High Heart. And I like that better because location, location, location. That makes sense that Alys loves that location. She never fucking left the Riverlands because she's a dumb, basic bitch. Okay, she can't even enjoy the finer things in life. She can't enjoy travel because she's dumb, stupid. But I like the idea that Alys is Quaithe just because of the shared astral projection abilities. But that's not the point of my video. That was just extra bonus for you. The point of the video is Alys is not there. Maybe in later episodes she's going to be there, but everything we've seen so far, that bitch is not physically there. That bitch is castles away. That bitch might be at the damn Citadel with the glass candle, or she could be right underneath Harrenhal attached to a tree. She could be north of the wall. I don't know. She does, but I think maybe yes, she does. She does get to the Riverlands in time to be there with Aemon, but at this point, she's not there. Okay, go ahead and talk shit in the comments.